Hello little learners, welcome to Gumboots. Today we are going to learn a new story, The Fox and the Crow. Once upon a time, a big black hungry crow was flying around looking for food. He came across a big piece of bread lying on the ground and picked it up in his beak. He then flew to a tree nearby and perched on his branch. He looked forward to eating the bread. A fox passing by saw the crow perched on the tree with the bread in his beak. The fox thought to himself, that bread looks so tasty. I have to find a way to get it from the crow. The fox walked up to the tree and said, "Oh crow, you are looking so handsome today. Your feathers are so shiny. You look like the king of the birds. I am sure your voice is so majestic as your presence. You are so beautiful." The crow was pleased to hear his praise, but could not say a word because of the bread in his beak. The fox continued, "Of birds, do let me have a pleasure of hearing you sing. I will be the most blessed fox." The crow, who had never heard such a praise, could no longer control himself. He stretched his neck, raised his head to the sky, and began to caw loudly. Caw, caw, and down fell the bread right into the waiting fox's mouth. The crow was left cawing while the fox gobbled up the bread. And down fell the bread right into the waiting fox's mouth. The crow was left cawing while the fox ate up the bread. Moral of the story is, be aware of flattery. Hello little learners, welcome to Gumboots. Today we are going to learn a new story, Fox and the Grapes. Ready little learners? On a hot summer day, a fox was happily walking along his way. Was a grape orchard. This caught his attention as he had forgotten his packed lunch at the home. He looked up and saw the most delicious looking bunch of purple grapes ready to be eaten. The grapes were just yummy. They were hanging from the vine. His mouth started watering and he was so hungry. "Oh wow, I must have these delicious grapes for myself," he said to himself. "I shall fill my hungry stomach with the juicy grapes." But there was a problem. The bunch of purple grapes were hanging from a branch so high up that it looked difficult to reach. So the fox took a few places behind, came running fast ahead and jumped up to reach it. But alas, he failed to jump high enough and missed grapes by a long way. So he tried and tried again. He took more steps back, came fast and jumped higher. He went up but not high enough. Trying harder and harder, but the fox didn't reach the grapes. He missed it again. Now, the fox was so angry and hungry, and also he was jumping again and again. Now, he took a break and sat below the grapevine. He looked up at the grapes in disgust. "Such a fool I am! What was I thinking, trying myself up, jumping up and down like a crazy on such a hot day, and that too just to reach a bunch of spoiled, old, horrible and sour grapes." So the fox got up, gave up, made in angry face and walked off. At last, the fox walked off and said, "No, no, I don't our grapes. The grapes are horrible, spoiled, and they are so sour." The moral of the story is, it is easy to despise what you cannot get. Hello little learners, welcome to Gumboots. Today we are going to learn the story The Three Little Pigs. Mrs. Pig. She had 3 little pigs. One day Mrs. Pig was very tired. "Oh dear," she said to her 3 little pigs, "I can't do this work anymore. I am afraid of you. Must leave home own way in the world." So the 3 little pigs set off. The first little pig saw some sticks and got an idea. "Can I do something of the sticks and straws? Can I make a..." He began to think. Then he started making a house of sticks and straws. First little pig went off to find a good place to build his house. The second little pig further saw some woods and he got an idea. "Can I build a house made up of wood? It will be easy and good house for me." The third little pig did not think much of that. "I am going to build myself a much bigger, better, stronger house," he thought. And he carried off down the road until he met a man with a cart load of bricks. "Off," said the man. "Where would you like me to unhold them?" The 3 little pigs looked around and saw a nice path of ground under a tree. "Over there," he pointed. They all set to work, and by night time the house of straw and the house of sticks were built. But the house of bricks were only just beginning to rise above the ground. The first and the second little pigs laughed. Ha 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 ha! They thought their brother was really silly, having to work so hard when they had finished. However, a few days later, the brick house was completed and looked very smart with shiny windows, a neat little chimney, and a shiny knocker on the door. One starlit night, soon after they had settled in, a wolf came out looking for food. Light of the moon, he escaped the first little pig's house of straw, and he sidled up the door and called,
Little pig, let me come in."
"No, no, by the hair of my chin," replied the little pig.
"Then I will huff and I will puff and I will blow your house in,"
said the wolf, who was very big, bad and greedy sort of wolf. And he huffed and puffed and blew the house in. The pig ran away as fast as his tortoise could carry him and went to the second little pig's house to hide. The next night, the wolf was even hungrier and he saw the house of. He crept up the door and called,
Little pig, let me come in."
"Oh no, not by the hair of my chin," said the second little pig as the first little pig hid trembling under the stairs.
"Then I will huff and I will puff and I will blow your house in,"
said the wolf. And he huffed and he puffed and he blew the house in. But the little pig ran away as fast as their tortoise could carry them and went to the third little pig's house to hide. What did I tell you?" said the third little pig. "It is important to build house properly." But he welcomed them in and they all settled down for the rest of the night. That night the wolf was even more hungrier and feeling bigger and better than ever. Prowling around, he came to the third little pig's house. He crept up the door and called,
Little pig, let me come in.
"Oh no, not by my hair of my chinny chin," said the third little pig. Second little pigs hide trembling under the stairs.
Then I will huff and I will puff and I will blow your house,
said the wolf. Well, he puffed and he huffed at the same time. He puffed and huffed at the same time again. He huffed and he puffed, but he could not get the house to fall down. He was finally out of breath to the point that he could not huff anymore. So he took a break and thought for a while.
This was too much. Now I will eat this pig anyhow. I want them in my dinner.
The little pig saw the wolf entering from the chimney. He got an idea. He put a pot of water to boil. The small piggy then pulled off the lid just as the wolf was about to fall down the chimney, and splat! The wolf fell into the hot water. Pig recovered the wolf. The wolf then ran out of the door anyhow. He ran faster and faster as much as he can. The three pigs now started living happily. Moral of the story is never shy away from doing hard work as it always pays off. Little learners, today we studied the three little pigs. Got to understand that hard work is the only key to success. Little learners, it's time to say